Welcome back, my fellow gamers. Since the first Five Nights at Freddy's game came out, we have been treated to many different versions of our favorite animatronics, including the big bear himself, Freddy Fazbear, who was known for being the mascot of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where the first game takes place. We've seen his form made both more terrifying and cute, and everything in between, as we've learned more and more about the story behind the pizza place and the murderous animatronics who roam there. Today we'll be exploring some of Freddy's different forms, colors, and history as we count down the top 10 alternative versions of Freddy Fazbear. Alright, let's get counting. Number 10, Nightmare Freddy and the Freddles. Definitely one of the most frightening animatronics, Nightmare Freddy appears in FNAF 4. He is dramatically more tattered than any other version of Freddy, and seems more muscular or bulky looking. He is also so tattered that you can visibly see his endoskeleton through the hole in his stomach, which seems to almost completely separate the upper half of his costume from the lower half of his costume. His teeth are razor sharp, and he also has pointed claws protruding from his fingertips. This version of Freddy also comes with the little alternate Freddles, which are like mini versions of Nightmare Freddy, who also tend to ride around on or inside Nightmare Freddy's suit. Number 9, Phantom Freddy. Phantom Freddy appears in FNAF 3 and is a version of Golden Freddy who has been burnt and seemingly has fallen more to pieces since the last game. Literally. This animatronic seems to be missing a leg based off of his movement, and he's also missing an ear. Of course, in FNAF 3, all the animatronics are hallucinations or ghosts, so Phantom Freddy, as his name implies, is never really there, but is more in your mind. Like the other Phantom animatronics, Phantom Freddy has creepy, small, white, ghost-like pupils. This version of Freddy also looks somewhat greenish. However, the design for Phantom Freddy in Ultimate Custom Night has him looking more like the original Freddy Fazbear from FNAF 1. Number 8, Lonely Freddy. This version of Freddy comes to us from the FNAF book, Fazbear Frights 2, Fetch. Lonely Freddy is similar to the Freddles, but bigger and seems a little less terrifying, at least appearance-wise. He is about the same size as Plushtrap and appears to be an animatronic-like toy. What do you think is more scary, giant animatronics or toy animatronics? I personally feel like toys are scarier because they could just sneak up on you more easily. Ugh. The Lonely Freddy we meet in the story seems to have hypnotic powers that allow him to take the place of those he hypnotizes. This version of Freddy also appears to be covered in fur. The game theorists have actually theorized that Lonely Freddy could be the same kind of animatronic as the seemingly psychic Fredbear plush that we saw in FNAF 4. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that's a good theory? Number 7, Withered Freddy. Withered Freddy also first appeared in FNAF 2. He is a version of Freddy who is replaced by Toy Freddy at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Being older, Withered Freddy is one of the animatronics kept around to be used as spare parts for the other animatronics. As such, he has fallen into a state of disrepair himself. He is tattered, torn up, and dirty, though he himself actually appears more well kept in contrast to some of the other withered animatronics like Bonnie, who, doesn't even have a face. Poor withered Bonnie. Number 6, Shadow Freddy. Shadow Freddy can be seen in FNAF 2 after all other animatronics have moved. He will sometimes appear in the animatronic parts and service area. Instead of coming after or attacking the player, he simply stays put in the place where you normally would see withered Bonnie. Instead, he will cause your game to crash or freeze if you stare at him for too long. This version of Freddy has a similar build to Golden Freddy, except that he appears to be black in color, resembling a shadowy version of Golden Freddy. He is missing an ear and has bright glowing eyes, unlike the original Golden Freddy. Number 5, Toy Freddy. This version of Freddy first appeared in FNAF 2. He is a redesigned and improved version of the original Freddy. At least, that is what he appears to be. Toy Freddy is the mascot of the refurbished Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. His system allows him to roam during the day as well as the night, like the other animatronics in FNAF 2. Unlike the original Freddy, Toy Freddy is active on night 1 and 2 of FNAF 2. Scott Cawthon has described Toy Freddy's personality as being private and reclusive, although in the FNAF AR game Special Delivery, he appears a little more friendly. Number 4, Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy first appears in the original FNAF game, although it is tricky to run into him. Not that you'll likely want to do that, because then he'll most likely kill you. In the first FNAF game, Golden Freddy was actually referred to as Yellow Bear. Unlike other animatronics, Golden Freddy is more sneaky. His approach is not as easily easily indicated in the game, and if he does show up in the office, the only way to avoid death is by quickly bringing up your surveillance monitor. If the player succeeds in doing this, this will cause Golden Freddy to disappear. Golden Freddy appears to be a deactivated version of Fredbear. That's what he looks like to me anyways. He is missing his eyes, and his hat and bow tie appear to be a dark metallic blue color. Number 3, Yendo. Yendo might initially appear to be the endoskeleton of Funtime Freddy, but it is more likely that he is actually the endoskeleton of another version of Freddy, not yet suited, as Yendo has a right hand, where Funtime Freddy would instead have Bonbon attached. Many believe that the name Yendo, which seems to be a combo of yellow and endo, alludes to him being the endoskeleton of Funtime Fredbear. Yendo plays a small but frightening role in the game FNAF Sister Location. Number 2, Funtime Freddy. I love all the Funtime animatronics, but I also think that Funtime Freddy might actually be one of the most frightening of all of them. Funtime Freddy is one of the animatronics belonging to the Funtime Auditorium of Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental from the game FNAF Sister Location. Funtime Freddy has a different color scheme from the Freddy that we see in FNAF 1. Instead, Funtime Freddy is white and kind of a light purple. He holds a microphone in his left hand and animatronic puppet Bonbon on his right. Or, well, Bonbon is kind of more part of him than being held, really. In place of a hand, Funtime Freddy has Bonbon attached to the end of his arm, making it look like he is holding a puppet. Number 1, Fredbear. While Fredbear is his own animatronic, you could consider him an alternate to Freddy Fazbear, in the sense that he was basically the original version of Freddy Fazbear. Fredbear is the animatronic that Freddy Fazbear would be based off of, and he was the original mascot of Fredbear's Family Diner. Similar to Spring Bonnie, Fredbear is also a Springlock model and has a slightly different shape than Freddy, who would follow after him. Fredbear, of course, is more similar to Golden Freddy in appearance, except that his accessories are a different color, but he still is the animatronic who inspired the creation of Freddy Fazbear, and for that, he deserves some recognition. I mean, we probably wouldn't have Freddy Fazbear without Fredbear. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed visiting and, of course, revisiting some of Freddy's greatest, most mysterious, and most iconic alternates. Which is your favorite Freddy alternate? Which one do you think is the most frightening? What other versions of Freddy would you like to see in the games or the books? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Scary Ennard FNAF Facts. Random Incorporated comments, I like Ennard without his mask. He looks like he's eating spaghetti. Oh my gosh, he does. Very messily eating spaghetti, I might add. And like he maybe got sauce in one of his eyes because he's like kind of like this. Although I also think that I really messily eat spaghetti. I think that's maybe the only way to eat spaghetti in my opinion. Sabine Batone shares, one of my random thoughts about Ennard is that when he's wearing the clown mask, he probably thinks he's just putting on his game face. Lol, his game face. I see what you did there. That's a good one. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and your feels shared in a future video. This has been Top 10 Gaming, and I'm your host, Amanda McKnight, reminding you to keep on gaming on. Pew pew! And remember to avoid prolonged eye contact with animatronic toys, just in case.